In this Starseed Report, 1. The overwhelming astrology of this week, leading up to the most intense full moon in a long time, on August 19th, 2024. 2. Completing the final removal of the Lurker that has multiplied the struggle of this week's astrology by a factor of 10 times. 3. The great opportunity all this opens for bringing things from dark to light, for physical matrix and life transformation. If you haven't been brutally knocked about from Monday afternoon onwards, then you're likely a first-time incarnate here, with few internal blocks that darkness can utilize or jab at. I'll be frank, the astrology alone this week is nuts. In fact, here's the title of astrologer Annie's YouTube report. Monster Moon, Blue Aquarius Supermoon, August 19th, 2024. Take cover. In her astrology report, she says, "This is going to unearth a lot of stuff. If you can hide under a rock, do that. If you can, be super careful because people are going to be stressed. They'll be driving emotionally. They'll be reacting emotionally. It's maybe not the best time to suggest something to someone who might be dangerous or will add fire to a situation that's already escalated. People can become shockingly violent or dramatic out of nowhere. We do know full moons have an increase in criminal activity and arrests. Hospital entries and medical events may be happening." She also mentions communication barriers, thanks to Jupiter in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in retrograde from the 5th to the 28th of August, causing even more frustration and friction. She goes on to say, Saturn in Pisces can definitely bring about doubts and insecurity, and disillusionment, and the need to reevaluate things. It can bring reality checks. It can bring heaviness to your mind, your emotions, and your mood. Saturn will be coming in and putting the kibosh on things this week. That's all happening, but there's something that seeks to expand. While there are these limitations, a really great way to work with this is to surrender to the limitation and ask the questions why or how could this be good for me. Moreover, she also stresses that, at this time, there may be reasons why the explosion of growth you're trying to have is not good for you, and reasons why you have to have patience and perseverance, and then reflection. Saturn in Pisces is really forcing this reflection and this quiet time. Maybe you're laid up because there was an accident and now you can't be mobile, or you can't do your normal work. This is not meant to make you miserable. This is meant to give you the time to reflect and see. Moving forward, what things may you do differently once you're in that forced quiet space? Astrologer Lori Lothian put it this way: this week's astrology is not common. We've got Jupiter conjunction with Mars, a Saturn square to Mars, a Jupiter square to Mars, a Venus opposite to Saturn, a cazimi of the Sun on a full moon, merger of Mercury and the Sun that come together while Mercury is in retrograde. And all of this is squaring Uranus for that full moon lunation. It is nuts. Important tips to get through this week much easier. 1. Minimize interaction with people as much as you can possibly get away with. Point 2. Avoid things like negotiations, meetings, etc. as much as possible. 3. Do not start anything, especially anything new. 4. Only go back to things you've already started, recently or long ago, and revamp them for the current times, or into something transformed. 5. Heavily focus on internal shadow work. This is a great opportunity for massive gains in that area, allowing you to ascend way higher when Mercury goes direct on the 28th of August. Just make sure you're using deep enough, robust, and comprehensive tools. The common frou-frou tools won't stand the pressure, and will only bring up stuff without clearing them effectively, causing bigger problems. 6. Take quiet walks in nature to reflect on your projects, direction in life, etc. 7. Be methodical, slow, and very step-by-step with any work and projects, while being open to radical new approaches on how you do things. On the plus side, believe it or not, Annie does explain why following my tips above will work wonders for you. Sometimes we have things going on under the surface, and we feel uneasy or we know something's happening, but we can't put our finger on what the issues are. This moon is going to blow all of this out of the water, so all of these other transits that are happening are going to be elucidated by this moon, and if there was any confusion or anything that was behind the scenes, unseen, and was undercover, it's just going to kind of blow it all out. It could be very cathartic. Start to trust the divine timing. It's this kind of a transit that can force either major discomfort or force the spiritual principle, which is, there is a plan to things that we don't know about very often retrospectively. We'll see that plan as being wise and benevolent, but in the time of it happening, it sometimes doesn't feel wise or benevolent because we can't see the whole picture. But I do believe there's a benevolent source that can see the whole picture. These things are in motion, so you're running up against blocks and obstructions, where you're stretching for growth, but you're kind of being pulled right back to where you were. This is definitely about balance. So our basic strategies here are going to be balance, which is striving to balance optimism with realism, while staying open to new opportunities, while also recognizing the need for discipline. Next, we have the full force removal of the Lurker that started around Monday, has multiplied all of this week's astrology we've discussed so far by a factor of 10. For those of you who don't know, the Lurker is a collection of consciousness from negative ETs of previous universal cycles, this universe's past incarnations, that couldn't ascend naturally, and they use technology to transfer their consciousness into the sub-quantum level of reality to survive the big contraction and then the Big Bang. All this traumatized the living daylights out of them, which made them way more dark. They, now as the Lurker, have since gently nudged ETs across the universe into a negative direction, creating negative ETs who then enslaved the Earth. As reported by the off-world RM to the surface population, the testing phase of disentangling the Lurker from surface humanity is over, and the full force removal began around Monday of this week, which has multiplied the harshness of the already crazy astrology of this week by a factor of 10. However, as mentioned above, the astrology does greatly support finding a way to remove the Lurker way faster, which would drastically accelerate planetary liberation. There is currently a prediction. If the 144K figures this out and intervenes in numbers on this full moon, links below, that by the time Mercury goes direct on the 28th and this crazy astrology is over, the Lurker may be mostly removed, triggering a full-force quantum leap to planetary liberation and the manifestation of your personal goals. Because now, you'll be lighter, thanks to the internal work you did on a week like this one. More intel will be released soon. For now, see you where it matters most, on the 144K mass meditation this August 19th. Links are below. Yours in service, the Unknown Light Warrior. Not a 144K member. If you want to join this online event, plus regular advanced mass meditations, you have to be a 144K mass meditation group member. Click the 144KArmyoflight.com link below to join. The Unknown Light Warrior is an extremely old commander-level soul type, similar to Ashtar's, with a rich energy mastery and military history of over 5 million Earth years, just within the 3D and 4D. Since 2017, he has been guiding starseeds, aka lightworkers, including veteran energy masters and professional healers, on how to use the power of their minds to clear the non-physical planes in a safe way. Therefore, start freeing the world in a faster but more stable way, through live global mass meditations that are more like psychic surgery, which you can do because his live guided broadcasts are that good. Click the link below to join the next 144K mass meditation on August 19th. These global 144K meditations are so impactful that we often call them timeline interventions. You'll also get the 6 critical elements to a successful Starseed group course, for free, plus other support, to make your journey to freedom and galactic family reunion quicker, with much less resistance. Learn more now. The 144K also gets the latest planetary liberation updates and intel reports, and we do have a real community on Telegram. And yes, it is an infiltration-free Starseed group.